I've been building my own kingdom for everyone to see. It exists to keep me safe from harm, and it's intact to glorify me. Nobody helped me build this up. It was me and me alone. I've appointed myself as the king, and I've given myself the throne. But it turns out I'm no ruler, and I have no control. So I have decided to destroy it all. I'm tearing down the walls, kicking down the doors. Everything inside this kingdom is yours. 'Cause what I've made is worthless, and it cannot stand. Come and breathe some life into my empty, cold, dead end. Down with the fickle king, away with this fantasy. You are the one I need. Death to the kingdom of me. Death to the kingdom of me. I should probably be frightened. This empire's all I know, but it always does more damage than good. I'm afraid it's gotta go. I know that I can't be trusted, 'cause I'm just a man. And if you hadn't given your life for me, a loser would be all that I am. You know they say just follow your heart. I'm afraid that's a load of trash. Your heart will take you down to deep, dark places where you feel like you'll never come back. So I'm coming out of the dark. This facade is I woke up feeling like it was time to tighten up. Yeah, I woke up feeling like it might be a good day to get it done. That's right. Oh, the stadium is just like my second house. Now I'm two-tone talking, they can't shut my mouth. I woke up feeling like it was time to tighten up. Yeah, 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 yeah. I woke up feeling like it was time to tighten up.
Well. We meet again. Episode 177 of the Two-Tone Talk by God pod is here as the Titans get ready to travel to Houston to take on their division rivals, the Houston Texans, this Sunday. Titans looking for their first win of the season, and coincidentally, the Texans also looking for their first win of the season. Oh my goodness. I'm going to go ahead and address this because we've already got people talking about it in the comments section. People asking if Cam Ward is injured. Cam was on the injury report for Wednesday, was limited on Wednesday, but he was back to being a full participant yesterday in practice, and I don't think there is any problem with Cam Ward's health. But knowing the Titans and the way their injuries go, because things are looking better for Cam and his injury's getting better, that probably means he'll go on IR tomorrow or something. Titans South in the Super Chat said, I got a feeling we win 16-12. Cam Ward runs in a TD. I don't care if we win 2-0. I just want to win. You know, the Titans, and everybody be sure to click the like button if you're watching on YouTube right now, but I don't know if I have ever seen the Titans fan base this down bad. And I understand we've had our bad days. But this week has felt like the fan base is very close to being on the verge of an all-out riot. First of all, you had the loss on Sunday to Indianapolis and the nature in which that happened. Brian Callahan was atrocious. The defense looked like they didn't want to be there. Everything was bad. Everything was bad. And then the in-game experience is awful. The stadium seems bored. The games are not well attended. The people that are there don't even seem to care to be there, you know. And then 2 days later, you follow it up with the news that Brian Callahan is giving up his play calling duties to Bo Hardigree. I did a bonus episode on Patreon about that on Wednesday. Did a video about it on the channel when the news came out. But we have a new play caller for this game. Brian Callahan giving over the play calling duties. And so that was chaotic. And everybody talking about that. And there's a lot of things that go into that decision. The fact that, like, what does Nick Holes even do on this team that he would be passed over for the quarterback coach to be the play caller? But also, well, I'll get to that in a second. Then we traded Jarvis Brownlee for a 6th-round pick to the Jets. Bro, I for anybody that listened to the bonus episode on Patreon on Wednesday, I don't want to just repeat everything I said there so you guys don't just get a rerun, but when it comes to Brian Callahan giving up the play calling duties to Bo Hardigree, this is a classic case of the handwriting clearly being on the wall, guys. First of all, the idea that Brian Callahan walked in there and said, guys, I am willingly going to give up the play calling duties for the better of this team. That's just not what happened here. Brian Callahan did not walk in there and offer himself up as a sacrificial lamb to give up the play calling duties to make this team better. He was forced into this. Amy Adams Strunk, Chad Brinker, Mike Borgonzi, whoever, Brian Callahan did not offer to do this like he is leading you to believe. 100% he was made to do this. He was forced to do this. And Brian Callahan, you may not think he's a good coach. You may not think he's a good play caller, but one thing he's not an idiot. Make no mistake, Brian Callahan knows what's coming. He knows he is on very borrowed time. Very borrowed time. He knows what's coming. And as I said, the only reason that he is not fired already is because Amy Adams Strunk knows she has developed a reputation of being too hasty to fire people, and she feels like firing somebody in week 4 is too soon. So they did this as a PR move to just do something without doing everything. We don't want to fire him yet because that'll look bad, so we'll just get him to give up play calling duties so at least we can say we did something. But make no mistake, Brian Callahan, all of the higher-ups, the players, they know where this is headed. Brian Callahan was brought in as the head coach of the Tennessee Titans because of his play calling. And now he's not even the play caller anymore. What does he bring to the table now? Nothing. And he knows it, and everybody knows it. Brian Callahan is just collecting a paycheck at this point because it's over. The handwriting's on the wall, and I don't know. I mean, if the Texans destroy the Titans on Sunday, maybe that'll be enough. If, the Titans lose their next couple of games and they end up 0-5, 0-6, maybe that's enough. But, I mean, the fact of the matter is Brian Callahan is a dead man walking. The trade of Jarvis Brownlee, I'll hit on that really quick. I just don't I don't get it. It's very strange. When I first heard the news, I assumed there had to have been something behind the scenes, and maybe there was, but if there was, we're never going to know. I don't understand. It's not that I thought Jarvis Brownlee was a great player, but I thought he was a fine player who had a lot of upside, who could help you in years to come. I don't understand this decision at all. I don't understand this decision to trade Jarvis Brownlee, especially for what you got for him. I just don't get it. You can say, well, he wasn't a culture fit. My question would be, what's the culture of the Tennessee Titans? How can you say he's not a culture fit? What is the culture? What are we even doing? So yeah, the trade has been talked about ad nauseum, and I don't have much more to say about it, but it's just stupid. It's baffling. I don't get it. The Titans seem to be the only team that regularly just trades away promising young talent that they drafted. I don't understand it. And if he goes on to be great for the Jets, I'm going to commit arson. Okay. Titans-Texans. This gets lost in the shuffle because there's been so much crazy news about the Titans this week, you might have forgotten they have an actual football game this Sunday. I don't know if this organization and this fan base has ever been more desperate for a win than we are right now. 3-17 over the last 20 games. We're coming up on a year since the Titans won a football game against, of all teams, the Houston Texans. That was in November of last year in Houston, just like this game will be. This fan base, this week, the interactions that I've had with fans on X and other places, this fan base is in devastation mode right now because of all of it. The 0-3 start, Callahan's awful, looked terrible against the Colts, Jarvis Brownlee traded. The fans are just on the verge of a meltdown. And we desperately need a win. We desperately need to beat the Texans. And I think the Texans are bad. I really do. I think the Houston Texans are even worse than I expected. I think C.J. Stroud is even worse than I expected. But are they as bad as the Titans? No. The Titans are atrocious. And what I saw Sunday against Indianapolis was a team that looked like they weren't even interested in being there. They looked like the team that were lifeless from the time they walked out on the field. And so, do I believe that the Titans can go to Houston and win their first game against the Texans? Man, I'd love that. I'd love that for Cam Ward. I'd love that for the Titans fans like me and you. I'd love that for the fan base to get to experience something good. Man, that defensive front for Houston going against our offensive line without J.C. Latham again. I mean, listen, guys, don't look now. 2020, 2021 draft for the Tennessee Titans, there's nobody left. 2022, Roger McCreary, Chig Okonkwo, only two people left. 2023 draft, Peter Skoronski, Tyjae Spears, only two people left. Now, we get to the 2024 draft. J.C. Latham hasn't played in weeks. Tavondre Sweat is on injured reserve. Jarvis Brownlee's been traded. I mean, what is going on? So it sure doesn't look like J.C. Latham's going to play against Houston on Sunday again. And that's bad news because Danielle Hunter, Will Anderson. I mean, yes, the Titans' offensive line looked better against the Colts, but the Colts' defensive front sucks. The Colts have one of the worst defensive fronts in the league. And so I think that is what made the Titans' offensive line look better against the Colts. But think about how bad they looked against the Rams. Think about how bad they looked against the Broncos. How do you think they're going to look against the Texans? Yeah, Dan Moore was really good against the Colts, but those guys that the Colts have coming around the edge do not compare to these guys that the Texans have. So I am very concerned about our offensive line going up against their defensive front. If you're looking for good news, though, it looks like Derek Stingley Jr., who is one of the best defensive players the Texans have, is not going to be playing on Sunday. So, hey, look here, Calvin. Here's your chance to earn some of that $92 million. Their best corner's out. Maybe you can do something. But, you know, the Texans have injuries too. Derek Stingley going to be out, but still, their defensive front is fully intact. And I'm worried about our offensive line going against them. I'm worried about Cam Ward getting hurt. I'm worried about our defense in general based on what I saw Sunday. I mean, we can't stop the run. Every receiver's wide open. We act like we've never seen a play action bootleg in our lives. And I agree with something that somebody said in the chat earlier. This feels like a get right game for the Texans is what it feels like. Texans off to an 0-3 start. They're going to come in desperate because they were supposed to be the team that ran away with this division, and they've gotten off to a bad start. People are viewing this as a get right game for the Houston Texans. Oh, they started 0-3, but they can go and beat the Titans and get on track. That's what people are expecting to happen. And why shouldn't they expect that? I've said this before and I'll say it again. We are going to see what the Tennessee Titans are made of on Sunday. Because don't be mistaken. The Tennessee Titans in that locker room, they know the chatter going on among their fan base, among the people who buy their merch, among the people who buy tickets to their games. They know the conversation that we're having. They know where things stand with their coach. They know how stupid it is that Jarvis Brownlee got traded. They know that the fan base booed him out of the building and chanted "Fire Callahan" on Sunday. They know that Al Michaels and Kirk Herbstreit were taking shots at them needlessly on Thursday Night Football last night. I don't know if you heard that. In the middle of the Cardinals-Seahawks game, for some reason, Al Michaels and Kirk Herbstreit are taking digs at the Titans. What are y'all made of? What are y'all made of? The Pat McAfee show is laughing at your head coach. They are laughing at how bad you guys are. What are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? You going to go out there and get stiff-armed into the dirt by Jonathan Taylor, L'Jarius Sneed? You going to run out there and get pancaked by Tyler Warren, Cody Barton? You going to get into the backfield and not be able to bring down Daniel Jones, Jeff Simmons? And I know Jeff Simmons has actually been great over the first 3 weeks, but the defense as a whole, it's about the unit. They've been horrible. They played pretty well against the Broncos, but against the Rams and the Colts, they were horrible. What are you going to do about it? You guys are a joke right now, and I hate that. That breaks my heart. Because I don't want to hear the Titans being the team everybody's laughing about on Thursday Night Football. I don't want the Titans to be the team that everybody just forgets even exists. But 3-14 last year, 0-3 this year, and the only thing we're known for is the fact that our coach didn't know the rules of what a catch was in week 1, doesn't know when to use his timeouts, doesn't know when to challenge stuff, tries to get aggressive when he shouldn't, tries to not be aggressive when he should be, attempts 2 field goals of over 60 yards, gets a delay of game, the penalties. That's what we're known for right now. What are y'all going to do about it? I'm just a fan with a microphone. Nothing I can do. I'm looking to the players. Y'all talk about how great you are at overcoming adversity all throughout the summer. Well, guess what? There ain't going to be much more adversity than what you are experiencing right now in real time. They're laughing at you. Last year, they were just laughing at Will. This year, they're laughing at all of you. They're laughing. Al Michaels and Kirk Herbstreit just making jokes about you under their breath in the middle of the broadcast last night. What are you going to do about it? Roll over and play dead? So do I think the Titans can beat the Texans on Sunday? Yeah. I mean, I absolutely think the Texans are the worst team the Titans have played so far. Yeah, absolutely. But our offensive line against that defensive front scares me. The fact that Houston's going to come into this game more desperate than we are, because Houston actually had expectations coming into this season. So they're going to be desperate. They're going to be backs against the wall too. It just gives me a sick feeling. Just gives me a sick feeling. 32-1 power rankings. Let's get through these real quick. We've got the bottom three. At number 32, I went with the Saints. If there's any team in this league that I think the Titans could maybe squeak by right now, it's the Saints. The Saints are absolutely atrocious. What a nightmare. And then at number 31, I've got our guys. I've got the Titans at number 31. The Titans and the Saints actually play each other in the next to last game of the regular season, 3 days after Christmas. That could be a huge game for draft position right there. And then rounding out the bottom three, I went with the Dolphins. Miami's been awful. I think Mike McDaniel's going to be fired. Wouldn't mind him as an offensive coordinator if he does get fired, and assuming we have a new head coach. I like him as an OC, maybe not a head coach, but the Dolphins are terrible. That's the bottom three: Dolphins, Titans, Saints. Let's get into the 20s. 29 Giants, they're going to Jackson Dart this week. Knew that was coming. I mean, they just look lifeless. Number 28, the Panthers whooped the Falcons this week. Have to see if they continue on that path before I just shoot them up the list. But they move up a couple spots. I think they were in the bottom three last week. Panthers looked good. 27, Jets. Jets were very competitive. They're just, I like Aaron Glenn as a head coach. I just think they need more help on their roster. Number 26, the Arizona Cardinals. Life comes at you fast. They were 2-0 a few days ago. Now they're 2-2. Their uniforms were awful last night. The jersey looked like a tortilla. And the Cardinals, Marvin Harrison's not looking good. Kyler Murray looks like a bust as always. Number 25, the Houston Texans. The Texans have been awful so far. They've been awful. Worse than I could have even thought. Number 24, the Minnesota Vikings. I'm telling you, as I've said, I was never a big believer in J.J. McCarthy, and I'm really not now. Number 23, the Bears. I thought Sunday against Dallas was one of Caleb Williams' best games as a pro. If they can continue looking like that, they could be dangerous. Number 22, the Browns. What an unexpected win for the Browns over the Packers last week. Gritty win, and I stand by the fact that I think Kevin Stefanski is a really good head coach. They just desperately need a franchise quarterback there. Number 21, Vrabel's Patriots. I'm telling you what, all you guys, I just miss Vrabel. I wish he was still here. Yeah, New England looks awesome. Really. I wish we had what New England has. Dang. I mean, God, are we that desperate now that we're just longing for a 1-2 team that can barely put up points? Number 20, the Raiders. The Raiders are 1-2. They've lost 2 in a row, but I would still pick the Raiders above any of these other teams right now, I think. Maybe not the Bears, but I just want to see if the Bears can continue on doing what they're doing. I still think the Raiders have just got a lot of talent. Number 19, the Cowboys. I mean, I know people will hate that I have them ahead of the Bears, even though the Bears beat them, but I still feel like I like the Cowboys roster more than the Bears, but the Bears sure whooped them on Sunday. Number 18, the Bengals. The only reason I have the Bengals this high on the list because they got destroyed on Sunday. The only reason, and I mentioned J.J. McCarthy when I talked about the Vikings. He didn't even play on Sunday. It was Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz played a heck of a lot better than J.J. McCarthy, but I just don't think that's going to last. The Bengals at number 18, they got destroyed. Without Joe Burrow, it's going to be tough going for them. But I'm not going to give up on them winning some games yet because with Jake Browning, they figured out a way years ago. But I had them at like number 12 last week, so they dropped down the list. Number 17, the Falcons looked awful. Awful. And if they play like that again, they're falling way down this list. They were terrible on Sunday. Number 16, the Jaguars. Hate to have them this high, but I mean, look, they got a gritty win. They didn't look particularly good, but they got a gritty win. They're 2-1. Number 15, the Broncos. Their defense is still really stout, but I think Bo Nix has really regressed in year 2 so far. Number 14, the Chiefs finally got a win. It wasn't good. It wasn't pretty, but I'll move them up a couple of spots. Last week was the lowest they've ever been on this list. Number 13, the Seahawks. My sleeper team. What are they, 3-1 now? Y'all know I like the Seahawks. What is this update from Adam Schefter? Oh, no. Patriots head coach Mike Vrabel announced that defensive coordinator Terrell Williams has been diagnosed with prostate cancer. So send a lot of love and prayer to Terrell Williams. Goodness gracious, that was not what I was expecting to read. Number 12, the Steelers. I should have put the Seahawks ahead of the Steelers. I'm not going to lie. I had to throw this list together because I was running out of time. I should have flip-flopped the Seahawks and the Steelers because the Seahawks beat the Steelers. That's kind of stupid that I've got the Seahawks below the Steelers, but the Steelers I still think are going to be fine because Mike Tomlin and that defense and Aaron Rodgers is playing well. But I would still put the Seahawks ahead of them. Number 11, the 49ers. Man, the 49ers, they're well coached, man. There's some teams that any quarterback you have can go in and play well for them. That's the Niners. That's the Niners, man. Well, they got Mac Jones. Mac Jones, he's just in there doing well. Like, number 10, the Washington Commanders. Without Jaden Daniels for the second week in a row, but again, they're well coached. And Marcus Mariota, the young maestro, every time he comes in for them, he plays well. And I suspect he'll play well against Atlanta on Sunday. Always liked Marcus. Number 9, hate to have him this high, but the Indianapolis Colts, I can't deny. Daniel Jones looks great. They look well coached. Their offensive line plays well. Their defense flies around. They've got some really nice weapons. Can't argue with the results. The Colts look really good. Number 8, I went with Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Bucs had a close call on Sunday, but they got away with it. And I think the Bucs may be contenders, man. I really like Baker. Number 7, the Rams. Always big fan of the Rams. Sean McVay, Matt Stafford. I think they're going to be contenders as well. Number 6, the Ravens. The Ravens dropped down the list. I mean, I think the Ravens would destroy most teams in the NFL. But can they beat the other teams up here in this top 10? Can they beat the Rams? Can they beat the Bills? Can they beat the Lions? So far, no. Number 5, I went with the Packers. I know the Packers lost, but I think this just felt a little fluky. I'm not worried about the Packers. They were number 1 last week. I dropped them down to number 5. I know they lost to the Browns, but I still think the Packers will be fine. I just think this is one of those weeks where weird things happen. Number 4, the Chargers. Justin Herbert's a dog. Justin Herbert is an absolute dog. He's playing great, and the Chargers are rolling. Number 3, the Eagles. I thought the Eagles would lose to the Rams, but one thing you can say about the defending world champions, they just find ways to win games, man. It may not be pretty. It may not be the greatest thing you've ever seen, but somehow, some way, they're going to win. I long for what they have. Number 2, the Bills. I mean, again, Josh Allen, a dog. The Bills are nasty. And then number 1 this week, I went with the Lions. I thought the Lions just got a great win on Monday night in Baltimore. I don't know if I've seen anybody defend Lamar Jackson that well in a long time, man. I think that the Lions did a great job. They've got weapons all over the place. And so I've got the Lions as the best team in the league. And the only thing I would change, I would have flip-flopped Seahawks-Steelers, like I said, because the Seahawks beat the Steelers head-to-head. I do think the Seahawks are better than them. But, I messed that up. Anyway, you know it happens. We're all human. Okay, let's make some picks for this weekend. Obviously, the Seahawks beat the Cardinals last night. As always, put your picks in the comments, and we'll see how everybody's feeling about this. I'm just reading this. Vibe Vacia said, I went to an open practice at Nissan Stadium before the season, spoke with Johnny Hecker, the punter. My friend asked him, can you promise us more than 3 wins this year? And he said, I can't promise anything. Smart guy. All right, there's a game in Dublin, Ireland, the Vikings and the Steelers. That's at 8:30 in the morning Sunday. I'm going with the Steelers. I think that the Vikings, with Carson Wentz, I know they whooped the Bengals the other day. I don't think they'll be able to. Carson Wentz against this Steelers defense, unless is McCarthy playing? I don't really care because I don't like McCarthy either. So I'm going with the Steelers either way. I'm going with the Steelers over the Vikings. And then we got Chargers-Giants. Easily got the Chargers there. Even though it is Jackson Dart's debut, this is a tough debut. This is a tough debut for Jackson Dart going against the Chargers. But I'm going to go with the Chargers. Commanders-Falcons with Marcus, the young maestro, in Atlanta. We kind of find out a lot about the Falcons this week because they got walloped on Sunday by Carolina. How do they respond? How do they recover? I'm going to go with Washington to win this game. I'm going to go with the Commanders. I think Marcus, going against one of his former teams, he played for the Falcons, started for the Falcons for a year. I think Marcus will do enough. I think the Commanders will win. And this is also Dan Quinn. Dan Quinn going against his former team. Saints, Bills. I mean, you never know, but this could be 50-0. In Buffalo, I got the Bills all day in this one. Sheesh. Eagles, Bucks. I'm going to go Eagles. It's in Tampa Bay, but at the end of the day, I think it'll be close. I think it'll be a great game. But I just think the Eagles right now, I just trust them to win. I trust them to find a way to win, and so I'm going to go with the Eagles over the Bucks. Browns, Lions. I'm going to go with the Lions in Detroit, coming off of that Monday night performance. I think Detroit could come out a little sloppy just because on a short week and you got all hyped up to play the Ravens, but I think the Lions beat the Browns. Panthers, Patriots. I'm going to go Patriots. I don't think the Panthers will be able to follow up what they did against whoever that was that they played, the Falcons. I don't think the Panthers will be able to follow that up. I think the Patriots in Foxborough get a win. Jags and the 49ers. Is Mac Jones going to be playing against his former team here? Or is Brock Purdy back? Somebody let me know. It would be hilarious if Mac Jones led the 49ers to a win over the Jaguars. The game's in San Francisco. I'm going with the 49ers in this one. I don't think the Jags looked good on Sunday. I don't think the 49ers are just well coached. They just find ways to win no matter who's in there. So I'm going with the 49ers to beat the Jaguars. Colts, Rams. I'm going to say the Colts take that first L of the year. I'm going to say Rams, especially after the Rams lost that heartbreaker to the Eagles last week. It's in LA. I think the Rams going to come back strong, defiant after taking that loss. I got the Rams over the Colts. Ravens, Chiefs. I got the Ravens easily. The Ravens have got to be frustrated because they probably feel like they should have won. They probably feel like they should be 3-0, even though, I mean, maybe not against the Lions. The Lions just outplayed them. But, I mean, they probably feel like they should have beaten the Bills week 1. I'm going to say the Ravens beat the Chiefs soundly. I'm going to say the Ravens beat the Chiefs by at least 2 scores. Even though it's in Kansas City, I got the Ravens. Bears, Raiders. I'll go Bears. Caleb Williams looked good on Sunday. I think Ben Johnson's going to get them rolling. I got the Bears over the Raiders. Sunday night, Packers, Cowboys. Give me the Packers in a rebound win after that tough loss to the Browns. Give me the Packers. Jets, Dolphins on Monday night. Good Lord. Awful. I'm going to go Dolphins. Somebody's got to get a win here. They're both 0-3. I'm going with the Dolphins. And then Bengals, Broncos is the other Monday night game. It's another bad one. I'm going to go Broncos. Jake Browning against that Broncos defense. I got to go Broncos. Titans, Texans. The last one we'll talk about today. Titans, Texans. As I said earlier, I think the Titans have a shot. I think the Texans are not very good. But I genuinely think the Texans are going to win the game. I do, because I think the Texans are going to come in angry at home. They're going to come in feeling like this is their opportunity to get things right after a disappointing 0-3 start. I got to ask CJ in the comments, in what way is Cam Ward a bust? Tell me what you've seen from Cam Ward that would indicate that he is a bust after 3 weeks. It has been 3 weeks. What have you seen so far that would tell you Cam Ward is a bust? I'm telling you. This society that loves instant gratification, man, it's going to be the death of us. I think the Texans are going to win. I think they're going to come in desperate. I think they're going to come in urgent. I think they're going to come in knowing that they've got to get the ship going in the right direction. And there's going to be a new level of focus for the Texans. And I just think the Titans can hang in there probably better with the Texans than they have the other three teams. But I just don't see the firepower on our roster to hang in there. We're not well coached. We're not our receivers can't catch. Our coach, well, we do have a new play caller. I think the play calling will probably be better. I think Bo Hardigree will probably do a better job than Brian Callahan, but is it enough to win the game? I don't know. I know one thing. We need it. We need a win like we need oxygen right now. I don't know. I don't know. I'm trying to make myself believe the Titans can win this game, but I don't. I don't. God bless you, everybody. It's the Two-Tone Talk by God Pod. We'll be back on Monday to talk about whatever happens on Sunday. Hopefully it's a happy day, but probably not. God bless.